Hugo Milner's in good shape by all accounts. He's over at Harvard these days. And as I say that, the lads are off, so off we go. They'll feel that stiff breeze down the start of this straight. But then, as we say at the top, the wind will come with them in the second half, so we'll keep an eye out for who maybe takes the running up early on. As I say that, there's Hugo Milner on the far side in the luminous yellow top, and from all reports, he is going well, so it looks like he might lead us out over the first kilometres. As the guys come round, that's Hugo Milner leading the way from Ali Kinlock, Jordan Rowe. I coach both those athletes. I'm hoping they can stay up towards the front. There's Tom Lancashire tucked in behind them, Callum Johnson also in there. And then we've got also up the top, we've got Thomas Moran's tucked in that lead group. I can see John Beattie up there. He's in the red vest. He's always got a long, lopey stride, John. Callum Johnson's on the inside. George Lowry, former Loughborough student, he's in the Morpeth vest. He's one of the LD crew, the late, great Lindsay Dunn. That group is now headed by Nathan Shrub, and then Nick Hardy's on the back there in the Tipton vest. And we can see another Tipton Harrier, that's Harvey Maguire, and a little small group at the back of the field. So we'll keep an eye on the clock as they come through that first kilometre. They're nice and bunched, working well together. That's good. We can see number 128. Is that Richard Allen there who's got a number on rather than his name? So he's on the outside in the black. We'll just double check that and make sure that's right as they come through. So the first kilometre, it looks pretty quick. They're going to go through in around about 250-ish. So around about 247, 248, so bang on 14-minute pace as they go through. They're really bunched now together, and this could be quite good because they could drag each other around to a quick time. You know, they're moving pretty well. They went through that first kilometre in under 250, so if we think 250 is going to give us around about 14:10, they're inside that. And a lot of these guys on the road in particular haven't got PBs of that sort of standard, so a lot of the PBs that are set, you know, particularly like Jordan Rowe, you can see up there in the blue vest, his PBs are track PB. Then you got Ali Kinlock in third. I think he ran 14:24 mid Cheshire last year. Tom Lancashire obviously 14:02, so they're all operating at a good clip. Hugo Milner still leads the way. Tom Lancashire sits in second. And as they come round, they're going to swoop round the top and then back into that home straight, and then from there they'll have 3 laps to go. He broke something like 30 minutes for something like 10 years in a row on the road for 10k, which is incredible consistency.
That's amazing, really, because as you know, athletics is fraught with injury, and you know, to be able to consistently run sub 30 minutes year after year is quite an achievement. Yes, he's been on. I've been lucky enough to be team staff for European cross country and world cross country for the last 13 years, and yeah, John's been on teams with me, so he's also a very accomplished cross country runner.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's moving well tonight. He's in the middle of that pack. You can see him actually, the name on the outside. So Milner, Lancashire, Smith, Rowe, and obviously we can't see the name there, but that is Richard Allen in third place. He's moved through very well. He might have timed this well. He just sat back at the start and now starts to make his move towards the front as we see the clock ticking well over 6 minutes now. George Lowry's still going well in the Morpeth vest. He's tagging onto the back of John Beattie there. Callum Johnson again makes another move, so he's in that little bit of a chase pack, but the gap is still there. He's still stretching them out, Hugo Milner at the front. He's done a lot of work from the front, and he is a big frame. I wonder if that's going to take its toll in the second half, having to take a lot of that wind. So 5 or 6 of them away now. They're still clipping along nicely, around about that 14 minutes to 14:10 pace. And again, I know we keep stressing this, but the wind will be now with them, so we'd expect them to pick up slightly as they come round this section.
All 5 of them looking pretty good there, actually, and you know, there's still quite a way to go in this race. You know, they're pretty much halfway, and you know, it's going to be quite exciting. It's really good to see a close run race like this.
But one thing is for sure, that they're going to go through 3k in around about sort of a minute's time, and we'll try and get as close to that split as we can. Obviously that's an unofficial split, but we'll keep our eye out for that. But they are moving well. Wendy, you said they all look pretty good. They approach the 3k point, and that 2k is really where it starts to get moving. You know, the hard work's being kind of cemented down, but I used to find with 5k running, if you control that first 3k, you could really put the hammer down in that second part of the race.
Yeah, it's interesting now, isn't it? I was at the National Cross Country last year when Callum Johnson won, and it was quite a measured performance in very, very tough conditions. He's an incredibly strong athlete, so it'd be interesting to see if he can hang on to those top 3 there.
Yeah, and then we see the next chasing pack come through with BT and Lowry at the front of that. Jordan Rose just being tailed off the back of that group, and some of our early leaders, so Tom Moran there as well, finding it going hard in the second half, so may have just got their pacing slightly wrong. But it's Hugo Milner who continues to string them out. PB of 14.15 on the road, 14.09 on the track, so he'll be looking to go better than that. But here we are tonight over 5k. We see Tom Lancashire just getting tailed off the back of that group, so that lead group is now starting to get divided up. And the chasers, including John Beattie, who's still there, we mentioned, are giving chase to Tom Lancashire as we see our four-way now. So Hugo Milner leads the way still. Could he do a gun to tape today? He's pretty much led from the entire race from the first step. As soon as that gun went, he hit the front, he strung it out, he was on the pace. Richard Allen's ran a smart race, he's now tucked in second. They've got Andrew Smith in third. He's got a PB of 14.20, so hopefully these guys are going to smash those PBs. We've got Callum Johnson, PB of around about 14.15, so I'd expect him to go inside that. We can't get the splits at the minute, but we do hear the bell lap, so we know 1 lap to go, and it's under a K worth of running. Under 1k worth of running. Richard Allen sits in second place on the shoulder of Hugo Milner as we see the chasers come through. Tom Lancashire in that group now. The Vest of Tonbridge AC, they've got a cracking group down in Tonbridge. Mark Hookway does some fantastic work. George Lowry going through there as well. So they're all running well as they go around that back straight for the final time. And hopefully now they start to get the wind on their tails as they come into that last kilometre. And there's Callum Johnson starting to make his move as we see Andrew Smith is now dropped off the back of that group. So Hugo Milner keeps ticking them off one by one. But the one who is hanging with him is Richard Allen.
It's an incredible run by Milner, actually, because he's pretty much led since the gun. And, here goes the young lad now.
Yeah, Richard Allen.
That's a pretty decisive move there.
Yeah, big move. He goes into the lead for the first time. It's the first time we see him, and has he paced this right? It sometimes is a tactical battle over 5k when you think, you've hung in for the first 3k, and then that's a huge move because that gap is around about 10 to 15 metres, and it's only getting bigger. So Richard Allen, AFD athlete, striding out. 7.54 over 3k as well, so we know he's got a bit of turn of speed in those legs should he need it, but he's got great range as well. I mean, he's ran 65 for a half marathon, so he's strong. I can't see that gap being closed now. It's stretched to 40, 50 metres as he goes round that final curve and then back up this straight before he comes in to the finishing straight. Clock ticks on 13 minutes and the gaps have now started to appear. Callum Johnson's back in fourth, Andrew Smith is in third, so let's see if these guys can hang on for personal best. And then there's big gaps to fifth and sixth as people start to get tailed off into the second half of this race. But this race is wrapped up, all being well for Richard Allen. Bruises round. He actually looks in full control of this.
What a great turn of speed by Richard Allen. I mean, he really look at the gap he's created there. Very decisive running indeed, and it just shows you he was very patiently, I think, hanging on in there until he was ready, and he's got the wind behind him now, so he can take full advantage of the home straight, the wind behind him, knowing he's only got a few seconds left till he finishes.
So here he comes. Can he dip under that 14-minute barrier? The wind is blowing behind him now. It's going to be so close. It might just be outside. It's probably going to be around about 14.04. Richard Allen is the winner of the men's A race. 14.04, 14.05 officially. We'll wait for those official results to come through. You can probably check them online. And the long race leader, Hugo Milner, still ran a crack there. 14.13, 14.14. He's followed by Andrew Smith. That's going to be a personal best for him.